5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rolling pre-show.
Coming up next, the economic impact of a spectacular event that will draw thousands of tourists.
We're super excited about the solar eclipse. It's going to have a huge impact on Erie, Pennsylvania.
Plus, a man who was behind bars for more than 50 years is now helping others through education.
My life's purpose is to be a blessing.
And new plans to care for a piece of Center County history in Bellefonte. The Center County Report starts now.
Rolling open. Get ready to cue the anchors in 3, 2, 1. Cue Marie.
Good afternoon, I'm Marie Moyer.
And I'm Tyler Gallagher. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report.
Take 6.
Our top story. In just over 3 weeks, Pennsylvania will be in the direct path of a very special event, a total solar eclipse. It'll bring thousands of tourists to the northwest part of the state, and that means businesses are already feeling an impact right now. Eric Morris is live in our studio with more. Eric?
Take Eric.
That's right, Tyler. The direct path of the eclipse will take it right past Erie on the afternoon of April 8th. And even though the event is still 24 days away, local businesses in Erie have been planning for months, and they are now cashing in.
Take package.
Erie's economy is already primarily driven by tourism.
Package is about a minute and 20.
The ultimate sunblock will turn tourism into overdrive there.
So we're super excited about the solar eclipse. It's going to have a huge impact on Erie, Pennsylvania.
Erie's in the direct path of the April 8th total solar eclipse. Hotels have been sold out for months, and if rooms become available, Lori Woolslayer says they're snapped up almost immediately.
I think bringing people that otherwise would not have come to Erie for the solar eclipse are going to give them...
Coming back out to Eric at the CK wall.
How amazing the city is and all it has to offer.
Erie Apparel,
About a minute left in the package.
2014 by Penn State alum Greg Straub, began eclipse preparation last summer. Straub says it's common for retail business to struggle at the beginning of the year due to customer spending over the holidays. However, this year is a little bit different.
To have an influx of orders coming in the first quarter of the year when it typically wouldn't is huge, and like I said, it's exceeded our expectations, so this year is already off to a good start.
Both Erie Apparel and Diamond Hospitality Services are working closely with Visit Erie to promote merchandise
About 20 seconds
and
left.
events across the county. Woolslayer and Straub say although they'll be working on Eclipse Day,
Get ready to
they
cue
can't
Eric.
wait, and they'll be sure to pop outside for a couple of minutes to take it all in.
Cue Eric.
For more information about the eclipse and events in Erie, you can head over to visiterie.com. Live in the studio, I'm Eric Morris. Back to you.
Cue Marie.
Thanks, Eric. A mistrial was declared this week during opening arguments of a lawsuit trial involving a fired Penn State football team doctor. Scott Lynch alleged he was ousted after complaining to school officials about pressure to clear players to return from injuries. The university denies the charges, and a new trial is set for May.
Cue Tyler.
In just over a week, the State College School District Board will vote on a recommendation for a new school site.
Take VO.
This week, the board heard an update that recommends a site for a new Park Forest Middle School. The district administration is recommending a site that's on district property across from Valley Vista Drive from the existing school. The board will vote on the plan on March 25th.
Cue Marie.
State College is getting a grant of more than $820,000 to help with housing affordability.
Take
It
VO.
comes from the Department of Community and Economic Development. The money will be used to build new complexes and fix houses across the county. This project will be done in partnership with the Home Foundation and State College Community Land Trust.
Cue
Now,
Tyler.
the story of a man convicted of murder who thought he'd die behind bars, but now he's taking advantage of his unexpected freedom to help others here in Center County. Caroline Quick reports.
Take package.
My life's purpose
This
is
package
to
is long,
be
so we got 3
a
minutes.
blessing. Because I know my life was blessed.
Urban Moore is the community liaison for Penn State's Restorative Justice Initiative, which brings education to
We're coming
incarcerated
out
people.
to
Moore knows
Tyler on
firsthand
6
what it's like to be in
for the
prison.
tag.
But I had been there incarcerated for over 52
Yeah, Eric,
years.
if Eric's still in there, he can get out
I
now.
went in prison initially in 1969, before man walked on the moon.
During his decades behind bars, Moore discovers
Does
the
he know he can
power
go?
of education.
Now, let me
Reagan, can you tell
you
Eric
what
that he's
my
good to go?
My mind is soaring. My mind is everywhere.
Since the 1970s,
Okay.
Moore has become involved with universities and professors, helping to pioneer the idea of bringing education programs into prisons. He continues this work today at Penn State.
We're changing lives. We're giving hope again to people who have not had hope
live
in
shot
a
looks good.
long time. And we're impacting and changing families and communities. And it's happening every day.
20 years ago, he met Penn State professors who told him about the
Yes, the live
possibility
shot
of
is
working
happening.
for the
Let Mike
university
know that.
if he was ever released. But that seemed almost impossible since Moore was serving a life sentence.
My mantra became, Lord, please don't let me die here. It's every day of my life that I was inside.
His prayers were eventually answered after he applied for computation and was pardoned by the governor after more than 50 years behind bars.
My first thought was, what am I going to do with the dog that I had been trained with, that I had been training? His name was Fred, the St. Bernard, 170 pounds. Oh, big, lovable.
Moore was working in prison as a canine handler to train shelter dogs to become service animals and pets. Thankfully, the governor also signed an honorary computation for Fred.
Fred was going home with me. That's when I broke down like a baby and cried. I knew he was coming home with me, and he did.
Sadly, shortly
About a
after the
minute
release,
left in the package.
Fred developed cancer.
The hardest decision I had to make up until that point in my life was allowing him to transition. But he sent me Cora. He sent me Cora and allowed me to save Cora's life as she saved mine.
Cora, a timid rescue dog, never leaves Moore's side. He'll be 78 years old soon and is now not only a Penn State employee, but has been admitted as a student pursuing a degree in rehabilitation and human services this fall.
Be a blessing to someone.
About 30 seconds left. Coming out to Tyler on 6.
Whatever way you can, help someone. Put a smile on someone's face.
Yeah, Tyler
Make
on
someone
6.
understand and recognize that they are cared about, that they are loved. And
About
if you can,
10 seconds left.
bring education into places where it doesn't exist.
In State College, I'm Caroline Quake for the Center County Report.
Cue
Moore is
Tyler.
the keynote speaker at the Re-Entry Reimagined Summit on April 3rd at the Pastoral Spiritual Center on Penn State's campus.
Cue Murray.
2 State College gas stations are changing their names for the first time in over 50 years.
Roll VO.
Graham's Exxon on South Allen Street and the College Heights Exxon on North Atherton Street are dropping their Exxon affiliation. The company required them to install new gas pumps, among other changes. To avoid high costs, the businesses declined. The changes are set to take place before April 1st.
Cue Tyler.
Penn State's University Park Undergraduate Association has voted to make emergency contraceptives and pregnancy tests available in campus stores. Erica Ross has the full story.
Take package.
Beginning this week, Penn State students have new access to emergency contraceptives and pregnancy tests in Housing Commons Market.
Coming out
on
to
the
Tyler on
University
6
Park
after this, and
The
then
change
from
was
that we're
announced
going to
on
5
UPUA's Instagram
for the 2
just
shot
before spring
to go to break.
The project has been years in the making.
It predates my time in UPUA. I've been in UPUA for about 3 years.
The original idea came from other universities around the country.
We originally had the idea to do a vending machine, which has been done in a few other institutions, and that was kind of where we struggled a little bit.
After talks with University Health Services and Housing and
About
Food
a minute
Services,
left.
the project was set into motion to put them in C-stores on campus. This new access comes at a time where some states are creating legislation on access to medications and resources like these. But UPUA says the project had support from the start.
We're working with some folks in UHS who I think had a larger sense of urgency after that happened, but they were already kind of bought into the project.
Concepcion says this will give students more access to important medications and tests with less time and money restrictions.
Don't ever want a student to be in a position in which, because $40 or $50 just is too much of a stretch right now, that they're putting themselves in a situation in which they're uncomfortable being
About
in.
20 seconds.
Contraceptives will be available to students for $10 to $11 with help from University
Coming out to
Health
Tyler
Services.
on 6.
In University Park, I'm Erica Ross for the Center County Report.
Cue
For
Tyler.
more information on available health resources on campus, you can check out studentaffairs.psu.edu/health.
Take 5.
We've enjoyed some warm spring weather this week, but is it coming to an end? We check the weekend forecast next.
And
You're
in
a
Young
few
Girl
seconds
from
late
State
if you
College,
want
it's
to
the
let
Witch
this
of a
breathe.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
Take
And
T's.
also coming up, the latest on efforts to preserve and
Andrew,
clean
let
up
it
one of
breathe
Center
for a few
County's
seconds.
most well-known and historic cemeteries.
3, 2, 1. Roll commercial. 3, 2, 1. rolling, reopen, and cue Tyler.
Belfont's Union Cemetery has been around for more than 200 years. It's the resting place for 3 governors and Penn State's first president. But now a board of directors is focused on taking care of this cemetery for years to come. Reagan Phillips has more.
Take
Union
package.
Cemetery on Howard Street behind the Belfont Courthouse is home to 10,000 headstones. It's been around since 1806, and the wear
Coming
and
back
tear
out to
over
Tyler
the
on
years
6 for the
means this
tag.
place needs a lot of loving care. Renovations are planned over the next few years, according to newly
That's a good
elected
shot.
President Kevin Corman.
One of our main goals with the new board is trying to repair a lot of the headstones that are in disrepair.
Luckily, there's some new money for that.
So we actually got a grant from a
They're all
group
good, Jeremy?
for repairing headstones.
We got some time for it too. We'll have another break
We got
from
two
B to
different
C.
grants for that.
Okay.
And
If we
we're
need to fix
actually
anything,
cemetery
but
money
you shouldn't play with it
also.
if it's all good.
So we're spending $12,000 to fix up anywhere between 28 to 34 headstones that have been, just sort of neglected. That have
About
fallen
30
over, that are
seconds
not
left
taken
in the
care of.
For
package.
people unable to visit in person, a project is underway to digitalize the cemetery so you can search online and see who's buried in which plots. Some of the more famous people buried here include Penn State's first ever president, Evan Pugh, and 3 governors, including James Beaver. More than 9,000
About
people have their
5
final
seconds.
resting place here. In Belfont, I'm Reagan Phillips for the Center County Report.
Cue Tyler.
If you'd like to help, there's a community cleanup day set for April 6th from 9 till 3. Just show up and help clean up debris and older decorations.
Cue Marie.
Now follow-up to a story we first brought you last fall. A wish has just come true for a special 9-year-old State College girl and her family.
Take VO.
Susie Brown and her family just returned home this week from a magical trip to Disney World. Granted by Pixie Dust Wishes, that's a non-profit that grants wishes to people with disabilities. Susie has Cohen syndrome, which affects her development, vision, and muscle tone. Her school paraprofessional nominated her for the trip. Her family shared these photos with us, and as you can see, they all had a great time in Florida.
Take weather.
She did, yeah.
And cue Tyler.
We were woken up this morning by some rumbles of thunder, maybe a few flashes of lightning. We saw them here on our live camera, our WeatherStem camera that looks over Beaver Stadium, and the clouds continued to roll through even as the sun rose this morning. We had a pretty thick blanket of clouds out there and a few lingering showers. Beginning to see a couple of breaks in the clouds here and there right now live on our camera. It's 57 degrees out at Beaver Stadium with a light wind from the northwest. On the radar satellite, you can see the majority of the showers are currently moving out of the region. We had a heavier band of showers that moved just to our north earlier this morning. And of course, we here in State College got some pretty significant showers and even downpours late last night. So as these showers continue to move out, we may see another sprinkle or two later today, but our temperatures are warming up quite a bit as well. 57 degrees in State College. I think that's just about as warm as it'll get today, and those temperatures will begin to take a drop as a cold front begins to push its way through. These 40s up to our north and west will be our weather later on this afternoon. Now, what about after the weekend's over into next week? Well, the cold is back in full force behind it, and that means we could be seeing even some winter-like conditions for the beginning of next week. All right, so let's step through the futurecast here. You can see this afternoon highs in the 50s. The clouds are around, but they'll begin to thin out dramatically as the afternoon goes on into the evening hours, and temperatures will begin to drop as well into the 40s and eventually into the 30s as the evening goes on. Like I said, we'll clear things out pretty
About a
dramatically
minute left, Reagan,
into
for weather.
Tomorrow, a pretty clear day, all things considered, relatively chilly, and here's our next cold front that makes its way through Sunday morning. This one will drop our temperatures off even more with a few rain showers that'll make their way through, I think, on and off throughout the day. On Sunday, we'll see a few rain showers before things finally begin to clear out for Monday. Monday, this flow out of the northwest means we may even see a snow shower or two at times. So for today, we probably already reached our
30.
high temperature. The temperatures will continue to go down over the course of the day today. This evening, we clear out lows in the 30s, upper 30s at that. Tomorrow, plentiful sunshine. I think highs will climb into the 50s, not much warmer than that. But you'll see in our temperature trends here, temperatures on the downswing, especially with a cold front that passes through Sunday. So take a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast here. You can see temperatures in the 40s to start the beginning of next week. And Marie and Tyler, we have even a chance at some of those
Take
snow
3
showers
shot.
on Monday morning.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Tyler, but I think I am done with this winter weather.
You're ready for spring.
Coming on to Mike.
No, yeah, my parents and I are still trying to figure out a good time for me to move all my winter clothes from college back home.
I wouldn't move those just yet.
Now let's see what Mike has for us in sports.
Take Mike.
Coming up in sports, the Nittany Lions men's basketball team looks to make some noise in the Big Ten tournament as they played in round 2 last night. And a busy week for Penn State football.
Let this go a little bit. We're pretty
away and pro day today. We'll check in with the Lions.
Maybe
Back
like
and more
another
next.
10 seconds.
Cool.
Would be great.
Roll commercial in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And by
4, 3, 2, 1. Roll open for sports.
I'm Mike Bolger with sports. Penn State football is back in action this week with the start of spring practice and its annual pro day ahead of the NFL draft. Reporter Justin Chevrolet is outside of Luba Hall in University Park with the scoop. Justin?
Take Justin live.
Well, thanks, Mike. It was an exciting morning inside of Haluba Hall, and testing is still underway as Penn State players are putting their skills to the test in front of NFL personnel, including team scouts and team front office members. But as they focus on their NFL futures, head coach James Franklin was more focused on the future of his team earlier this week.
Take package.
When Penn State took the practice field this week for the first time this year, it resembled just a shell of last season. The Nittany Lions replaced all 3 coordinators.
This package is about 2 minutes.
Mickey, Tom Allen, and Justin Lustig adjust to their new roles. Coach James Franklin is preaching a team-first mantra. What is in Penn State's best interest? What is in our players' best interest? Not what you were comfortable doing at Indiana, not what you were comfortable doing at Kansas, not what you were comfortable doing at Vanderbilt, and also not what we were comfortable doing. What is best? Kotelnicki has to find what's best for the offense led by quarterback Drew Aller, who had one of the nation's best touchdown and interception ratios at 25-2. Franklin believes Kotelnicki's refined scheme can help Aller take the next step, but notes Aller has his own work to do.
I think for him and for all of us, I think it's consistency, doing it week in and week out. Against all
when I count down for this, you should probably count down for Justin a little bit to make sure that he knows when to go.
Okay, I'm just gonna. I usually just give him like standby.
Okay,
as we also
perfect.
know, that's not just Drew.
Whatever
It
works.
won't just be Aller, as the
He could
Nittany
hear
Lions
the program
roster
correct,
currently sits
too,
at
right?
I think he can,
125
cool.
players, a problem that Franklin says will generate competition and quality from top to bottom.
I think one of the things that
This is
jumps
the hour
out
mark.
right away
I wrote it
is
down.
just
Okay.
our depth. Our depth, we're bigger and stronger and have more competition across positions than I think we've had in the past. Just the number.
About
on our
30
roster
seconds,
is
going back to
greater than
Justin
it's
for the
been in
live
past.
tag, and then
The
back to
roster
Mike in the
is far
studio.
from decided, as Tuesday was the first of 15 chances this spring for the Nittany Lions to see
Stand by.
who fits where on this year's roster. The final chance is the Blue-White game on April 13th.
Cue Justin.
12 days after the Blue-White game, the players who were testing this morning will have the opportunity to hear their names called when the NFL draft begins in Detroit, Michigan on April 25th. Reporting for the Center County Report, I'm Justin Chevrolet. Now back to the studio.
Cue Mike.
Thanks, Justin. It's the
You're
end
good.
of the road for Penn State basketball at the conference tournament.
Take
The Nittany
VO.
Lions made it to the second round of the Big Ten tournament after beating Michigan, but suffered a heartbreaking 59-61 loss to Indiana last night. The game saw 10 lead changes for Penn State and 9 tied scores. The Hoosiers scored the game-winning basket with under 5 seconds left on the clock. Coach Mike Rowe's debut season ended with 9 Big Ten wins. The season is over for Penn State women's hockey team after punching a ticket into the NCAA tournament. After 3 scoreless periods in last night's game, St. Lawrence's Christina Fall scored the golden goal nearly halfway into overtime. History repeats itself as the Nittany Lions have now lost an opening round in back-to-back years in extra time. Penn State Wrestling has the weekend off as the team prepares for the NCAA tournament in Kansas City.
Take VO.
The Lions won the Big Ten Teams Championship for the 2nd year in a row, an 8th time overall under head coach Cale Sanderson.
Nice.
And after hinting his Penn State career would come to an end, 3-time national title winner Carter Sirachi announced his plans to compete at the championship next week.
Good job there, Mike.
Penn State baseball made its home season debut last night in a new and improved Mather Field at LeBron Park.
Take VO.
At the end of last year's slate, college spike season, Penn State started renovations on the playing field and surrounding areas to improve fan and player experiences. The project included new grass fielding lit up by all new LEDs, lighting, and a 2,700 square feet billboard in left field. The Lions beat UMass Lowell 3-2 last night, and they take the field again this afternoon.
Take Mike.
Sticking with baseball, fans can now enjoy alcoholic beverages throughout the 2024 season.
Take Vio.
Penn State announced this week that Medler Field would begin selling alcohol during Nittany Lion games. Medler Field joins Beaver Stadium as the only two facilities in the Happy Valley to sell alcohol during Penn State games. And maybe not so ironically, more than 1,600 fans turned out last night on a beautiful Friday evening.
Take
Well, I can't wait
shot.
to munch on a hot dog during those games with the new renovations, but for now, that's all from sports.
Yeah, you're right. And such a heartbreaking loss too for the Lion basketball team last night. But we'll see what Mike Rhodes can do with the team next season.
Yeah, and I hope that Penn State wrestling can just really bring it home for us. Well, thanks, Mike. Coming up next, it won't be a
Roll
cruel
tease.
summer for some Penn State students going to class soon. Guess who left her Eagles t-shirt at Penn State Berks?
Roll commercial in 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cue Marie.
Get ready, Swifties. Students at Penn State will soon be able to take that class about Taylor Swift that we told you about recently.
Roll Vio.
Class 297G, also known as Taylor Swift, Gender and Communication, will be available during Penn State's May Madness from May 6th to June 3rd. The remote asynchronous course teaches about Taylor Swift's
After Marie's
impact
done,
on
we're
pop
coming to
culture,
5.
analyzes her music, lyrics, and discusses women in music today. Summer courses are now open, but spots are limited. To learn more, contact Professor Michelle Ramsey at Penn State Berks.
Take camera
I
5
don't
for
know
the
about
2
you,
shot.
Marie, but I just don't get all the hype with Taylor Swift. But that's all for today's Newscast. We hope you'll join us next Friday for a new local news update.
You can follow us anytime for breaking news on our 7 Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good afternoon.
Take 3 shot.
Change it.
Change this.
Change it.
this.
Here we go, 5.
And
Oh,
5.
good. Boom. Perfect.
Perfect.
Nice job.
Okay. Okay. That's weird because sometimes even before we had this new system, it would always crap out in the commercial areas. It's weird. But now it isn't receiving the same kind of signal it would from the commercial breaks, so why would that still be a thing? I have not checked my emails in the last couple of days. Should I just go ahead?